bothered about that. There were expressions of concern that regardless of how tongue-in-cheek that might have been, or how much it was automatic for somebody my age, I appreciated that anyway. But I'm saying that because it'll let you know, to avoid any angst, that I won't be here until the first meeting in August, okay? And I just learned that I'm really happy I won't be here for the next meeting.
Yeah. It won't be as long.
Okay, anyway, the road on there was, parade parking. Saturday evening, Pirate Day in the Bay Parade, there was a little hitch in the 100 block of DeMontleson Avenue. And I believe it was in pretty much the same place where there was one several years ago. And anyway, I know the fire engine stopped in front of my house, and the driver said, he said, I've never been that close, you know, and made it through. My point is that, as I said several years ago, when this happened, if I've got the story straight, the mayor, justifiably concerned about it, had no parking signs put up on the north side of the 100 block at DeMontleson. And that would have taken care of the problem, but we didn't think that was the best plan. And Mr. Hoffman and then Chief of Police Gary Ponche Sr., we all walked the block and looked at the situation, and then I don't know what happened then, who did what, but in fairly short order, the signs came down. But that put us back in the original situation and hadn't done anything to correct it. At the time, I thought I had a reasonable permanent solution for it, and I still think I do now, and it's basically making the south side of the street no parking on that side of the street. There are some caveats to that, in that there are places where homeowners can park without touching the street. They're parallel and would look at. I don't have any details about this, and I don't want the police department to have too much to go on. Heather probably have something to say about it. My timing is basically, I didn't want the mayor to go putting up no parking signs on the other side of the street.
I think at the time, might have put them on both sides of the street.
No, you didn't. I was there.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
that is, we need to do something there. Carroll Avenue is another one that's bad. You know, of course, it's wider to start with, and even with parking on both sides of the street at times, you know, so
Good.
something we're looking at, and I
think-
agree 100% with you on this one.
properly done, no parking at any time on the south
South
side of the
side.
street would solve a lot of problems on many weekends and some days. And anyway, appreciate your time. Know you're busy.
And I just say, I happened
What-
to turn down the street the other day, and it was parked both sides, and I could barely get down. I couldn't hardly get down in the regular vehicle.
Wide hips now.
Yeah.
I did want to say one other thing. I drove through Mr. Lewis's ward earlier today and past Mr. Knobloch's house. And I went past Shieldsboro, and I saw the last little bit of open ground there before you get to Spanish Acres. And there were some beautiful live oak trees there, and I admired them. I didn't stop to hug them, and some of them were too big for me to do that. But I just hope when I come back in August that they're still there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miss Kathleen Monju, Mr. John Griffin, Miss April Bird, Mr. Thaddeus Black. That is you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity to speak to you. I'll try to be short and sweet. Billboard sign ordinance, where we at on it? 4 months ago, I think the city clerk said we were almost ready to go, and that was 4 months ago. We adopted the new sign ordinance with the billboard. We done that yet?
Put a moratorium on
Put a moratorium
it.
on
They
them.
can't build.
when we're gonna adopt the ordinance. When we're gonna put no more billboards in Bay St. Louis. And put it in writing. Forget about the moratorium, then we won't have to worry about it anymore.
Why not do that?
I thought we passed
I
no
thought
more.
y'all-
4 months ago, the city clerk said that we're almost there.
No,
No,
no, we passed,
passed it.
you
ordinance.
passed the ordinance.
That's what I'm asking. Did y'all pass it?
Yeah, we passed the ordinance that no
4
new
months ago?
billboards, and if one falls, they can't put it back up.
No. Did y'all put that in
Here,
the order?
March 13th.
Correct, done.
I
That's
don't
what
know
I'm
if it's
asking,
been-
didn't you?
I don't know if it's been put, that'd be. the
I'm
city
Googling
clerk.
it right now.
March 19th.
I mean, I know you put a moratorium on them.
Yeah,
No, this is
That
an
at
ordinance.
first, that the city attorney didn't want you to, but I thought it was a good idea.
This is an ordinance, not a moratorium.
That's what I'm saying. Did y'all finally pass the new sign ordinance with the billboards in it?
On March 19th, you
Yes.
passed a text amendment to the sign ordinance. I don't have it in front of me, but on March 19th, that's where.
That's just 2 months ago, right?
Section
That's when we had the
904.2,
gentleman from
off
Lamar
premises
contract.
outdoor
Yeah,
signing,
Lamar here.
Yeah, we did this.
and replaced it with billboards are not allowed in the city of Bay St. Louis. All legal billboards existing prior to the date of the adoption of this ordinance will be considered grandfathered and not to be removed unless they fall into such a state of disrepair that would repair repairs equal to more than 60% of the value of a complete replacement structure at the current price. I could keep reading if you'd like for me to.
Okay, good.
We passed
Cool.
it.
Cause didn't we have to straighten up the ordinance too, so it matched
Yeah, we had
the
something.
price?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that everything in conjunction with each other now?
I think that was that night y'all looked at something, but it was being read,
Different.
and this
Well,
is what,
There was something that didn't prevent us from putting that ordinance in place, but I think there was some verbiage or, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
recall.
we amended the
Yeah.
ordinance to show no billboards, no new billboards.
Yeah.
And any existing billboards, if they fell, would have,
Right.
any more than 60%, they wouldn't be able to be replaced.
Good enough.
Thanks, sir.
I think this probably falls under the mayor's, some of our dumpsters, they're supposed to be fenced in. They're not. ABC Reynolds been down since Zeta. Your new Lucky's on the corner of Washington and Old Spanish Trail.
They rebuilding theirs,
All right, and why does Bowie's now have one just stuck out front?
cause they rebuilding theirs as well. When they did the addition, it got torn down out there. It-
Well, I
it-
understand that, but it's been like that for 2 weeks. It looks like all the construction people are gone.
No, it'll be rebuilt.
Okay. What's going on in Dan B's parking lot?
I think they building 8 condos there with parking underneath.
8 condos?
I'm just kidding. They have no permit to do anything. They looking at possibilities of, a deck area out there and all.
Well, I know they got the orange, construction fence up, the plastic fence. They also got where they're fixing to put down some form boards.
No, they're not
Then what's the 4 corners marked off for with 2x4?
marked off, but I can assure you they're not putting anything down until they get a permit. And they can put a fence around it for what they want, to keep people off of it.
Right, I understand that, but I was just
I should've
curious.
kept the condos, huh?
Maybe that's what they wanted you to do.
Yeah, maybe so, huh?
Ward lines, y'all gonna be voting on that tonight?
I'm sorry.
The redistricting.
No?
I don't think we're voting on tonight.
It's on the
Okay,
agenda
on
for
the
y'all to
agenda.
vote on it, the ordinance
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
new
the
ward
ordinance,
line.
Yeah,
Redistricting.
so there's still some discussion around.
Is there a map that
different
people can look at somewhere in this facility?
Should be
It's included in it.
a public hearing on this.
It's included in the agenda item.
We didn't have to have a public hearing on it before we adopted it.
You had a public meeting on it a month ago?
With the,
The workshop.
oh, I wasn't here.
I mean, is there a map where people can actually come up and look and see if whether they're gonna be in the same ward or they're gonna be changed?
There's a, there is a proposed,
Mhm.
map that delineates the new line.
I think it's a joint.
And it's on
one,
the,
yeah.
it's attached to the agenda. It's part of the agenda item.
But I'd like to look at it. I'd like to know which ward I'm gonna be. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Jordan
Thank
Sweet.
Hey, sorry about your mom too, passing away.
Alrighty then, Miss Anita Warner, come on down. You're the last contestant. Public hearing.
Two things, and I'm so glad that John Omen mentioned the oak trees, because I have had 4 different people call me in the last 2 weeks very much afraid of the oak trees in Shieldsboro. You remember when we finally agreed to let them build, what is it, 115 houses now, I think? They swore they would keep the oak trees. There are some very large, all those oak trees they are protected. They're 38 inches, in excess of 38 inches. And please don't let them cut those things down. And I've talked to Ricky, I talked to Ann, who's the clerk, and I talked to Jeremy, and they said nobody had applied for any permits to cut the oak trees yet. But those oak trees need to stay, because they're good size. Now, on an
And
entirely,
And just a quick comment on that, and we can get with Jeremy on this, but is there any reason those trees are preventing development for those platted areas?
There's a possibility of two, maybe a third one, that may need to be cut. But the rest of them is on property lines and all. We have no intention of, doing anything like that. That's out of the way. They do need some trimming. There's a lot of trimming that needs to be done. If you've been out there, I'm sure you've seen that as well. But the intention is very, to do as little as possible. Are we going out there and clear them? I assure you that's not gonna happen,
good.
and
Good call.
hopefully, and Heather has it, but hopefully we have a new tree ordinance for maybe our next meeting that we can look at and get sent out and adopt.
Yeah, we need to put some teeth,
It's got some.
big teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's got
some
up to
big teeth.
36,000 and
Okay.
above.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need some big teeth.
yeah. seriously.
$1,000 an
We,
inch or something
we might
like
have
that.
too big of teeth, I don't know, but
Got
it's something we can look at and
Yes.
see and all, But again, and also in that as well, there's gonna be times when a tree does have to be removed, because it's sitting in the middle of a lot and there's no way around it, whatever this and that. So, it's just one of those things, but we do, we're
But
looking at
people
something and all,
call me
you know.
and say, blah, blah, okay, on an entirely different subject. As the senior warden of the vestry at Christ Episcopal Church, last week I was on our property and Chinichi was out there and I said, what are you doing? He said, we are surveying the drainage. I said, really? Surveying the drainage, because it's a huge drainage swell that goes along the side. And I found out with respect to the SWK lawsuit that the city condemned or did eminent domain or expropriated, whatever term you want to use, back in the 90s, a lot of drainage through all that property. Through ours, through the Argus, now Jack Blitch, all of that. As a result of the drainage, which is supposed to now go through the SWK property that we're in the middle of the lawsuit with, we have drainage problems at Christchurch. We have sinkholes from the city's drainage. And my recollection is that pre-COVID, at one point the city came and did some fill. But we've got a big old sinkhole in our property back there that's connected to the city drain.
Somebody just brought that up last week, and it's on Ronnie's thing, his papers, all to go look at.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly where it's at. That's the first we heard about it last week.
Well, I can promise you that before COVID, the city had,
Oh, I'm not,
Phil.
they brought some more, but this is the first we've heard of a new one out there.
okay, then my other question is,
Is it,
what's
Ms.
with
Anita,
the,
and sorry, is it a new one or is it the current, is it a new one or is it the
no,
current?
it's the one
the
that's been
current
there.
issue?
It's the
Yeah.
one that we've fenced off.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, the city's figuring out its drainage if they're sending Chinichi out to survey all those things? I
That's
mean,
an NCRS grant that's on the large drainage ditches. So they're surveying all large drainage ditches right now.
Yeah,
That's
this is,
the
working with Turner
NCRS
and
grant.
all through well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty then. City clerk report, project updates, none? City clerk report?
Motion to approve the budget, Bay St. Louis docket of claims 24-025 dated May 21, 2024, in the amount of $484,461.10. I don't think I received any questions from anybody on this.
Toolboxes,
The toolboxes, you did send me that.
buy local.
Yeah, it said
Buy local.
toolboxes, buy local.
So,
Something with Napa.
any question on docket of claims? Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion to approve docket of claims, Mr. Hoffman,
Second.
second Mr. Lewis, any discussion? Vote to motion?
Aye.
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 Motion passed 7-0.
B is motion to approve Bay St. Louis docket of claims 24-026 special for May 21, 2024, in the amount of $751,287.71. This is the one I emailed y'all some information on today.
Interloan funds,
This is in a loan paying back.
paying back.
We received the MDA grant.
Yep.
So
All right,
paying
motion.
to general fund and to the reserve.
Both of them.
So that's all police department reimbursement.
That's police board reimbursement, MDA.
Need a motion?
900,000 of it.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman. Motion, Mr. Salvo.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passed 7-0.
And then C, motion to approve Bay St. Louis docket of claims 24-027 dated May 21, 2024, in the amount of $14,400. This is putting postage on the utility meter so we can mail out bills.
Any motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0. Consent agenda.
Why we keep extending the, Zeta emergency declaration?
We still got open projects, don't
Still,
we?
yeah, still got projects open.
Projects that you gotta keep open.
Which projects are open?
Harbor,
Harbor and Ida.
roads, drainage,
Yeah.
dredging at the harbor as well. I think we got 4 or 5 projects like that.
Only question, I think that, government online suite, that looks pretty cool. All that,
And we did a demo with Councilmember Reed, what, a week and a half ago. If you want to speak to it.
What's that again?
Definitely need that.
The demo we did with My Government
permitting,
Online.
zoning ordinance, permitting and stuff online,
Oh, yeah.
work order
Building
Oh,
permit.
yeah, we need that.
Tried to
Work
get,
order permit, yeah. So I said, it, yeah, it looks good.
Got his endorsement.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
These trucks, what do we got $74,000, we're looking for 4 used trucks. for
Same
public
thing we
works.
purchased before, through Fastenal, trying to go that way, get more trucks. We're steadily going downhill with our trucks and all.
We're gonna buy them on lease purchase, that's for the next one.
that's
We
the
can,
next
yes.
agenda item. Would be
Yeah, sissies, we have, it depends what year it is, what we can finance and all through it. We looked at possibility of going reverse auction and all with this, and we just need some trucks now.
Utility department, we can buy those outright, can't we?
Uh,
Out of
we have
utility
money
fund.
set aside in capital for it, for the lease purchasing and all, because, once we get these, we're gonna be looking at some more as well, and trying to see if maybe every quarter we can pick up 4 trucks or something. We probably need in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 trucks, so.
Yeah, I just like to, we got, building up a lot of notes for lease purchases, so.
We are, and if you
know,
look at,
Understand that,
our repairs, I think between utilities and public works, we're probably close to $50,000 this year in repairs on vehicles.
right?
Would this be replacing some of those old Explorers? Is that Public Works? Is that what they're, yeah.
Yep, we're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And again, we've been able to swap out 1 or 2 here with building department, so they got extended cabs and theirs, and bringing inmates around and different things, it's been good working out with that as well. But we're in dire need of vehicles.
I mean, like we got $800,000 in the utility operating fund.
We got, yeah,
You could buy
we got
those,
some projects coming too.
right? Okay, yeah, just
I
keep,
mean, yeah, we can
Well,
look
so-
at it and
keep
see if
adding
we
note to
find-
note to note to
So
note
if
to
we-
note. I mean,
if
you're talking $35,000 out of $836,
What we're authorizing tonight is for y'all to go out and take a look at it, but we're not actually authorizing you to lease purchase it at this
no,
point.
for the lease, that's only to go get quotes for the
Right.
purchase. That has to
So
come
we
back.
could decide once they get quotes.
Yeah,
they'll go
I'm just
to-
saying, right, we.
No, I agree.
Keep adding note
We can
to note
buy
to
it
note.
outright,
Makes
buy it
sense.
outright,
Yeah.
not fine.
We're doing good in the household, we keep getting credit cards and you're paying minimum payments. Not that we're that way, right? I mean, we're doing good, I just don't, just
No, I
continue
agree.
to,
So what's going on with the cash balances? I see, you got an alert, all these negative balances on these accounts for the
I think
harbor.
there's 3 of them.
Yep.
And
So, this is one of the things I talked to Sissy today about. If you look on the after column, that is the true cash balance in that account. One of the columns she added over the last couple of months was that interfund loan due to, due from. That was not there historically. So she wanted to be able to show that. That was something that came out of the audit, so you'll see what previously has been done, approved by council to say, hey, we did some interfund loans, so that's out there, waiting on other grants and other things to come back.
So
So if you look at that,
explain,
that's the part she puts as, hey, with that interfund loan, it's negative, but it's not a true negative cash balance.
So explain the municipal harbor special grant. That's 264,000. What grant you expected back? Is that the one for the loan?
So we have grants in there. However, the big chunk of that is they moved about 240,000 into the debt service fund, which is the obligation. I think it's 245
Payment on the
at
loan.
408. That's our payment for the summer that we have to go. So
for that
basically taking
1 point.
money out of that fund, putting it in the payment fund.
And some of this is also FEMA, some of, we still got some money from Pier,
You got Tylen's
No,
funds in here
no.
too.
the gas and all.
But that's,
Fuel dump.
she added that
Fuel dump.
column because of that interfund stuff. So it's not actually a cash balance.
But
Checkbook balance is that after number.
Isn't it some of, she said, because of the projects are not complete, we can't get funding, get refunded this money?
Some of that's that FEMA right there
Yeah,
we're
some of
talking
that's
about.
FEMA
FEMA
money,
stuff.
reimbursement because the
FEMA,
project's
look,
not done.
by all rules, FEMA says you can get reimbursed as you go. By rules, not MEMA says you can't get reimbursed as you go, but they don't do it. Our people here, and this is a roadblock we hit, same thing when we was going with the debris pickup and everything and different things, and the projects and all. For whatever reason, MEMA holds on to that money till the project is over.
Yeah.
It took us, what, 2 years or whatever to get the, reimbursement from, Zeta debris pickup?
FEMA allows it, FEMA allows it by their regulations. MEMA is the hiccup there, and I think the reason is, I think it's a staffing issue. If you talk to all these different governments along the coast and say, hey, who's your FEMA contact, who do you contact for reimbursements, it's the same person. So I think if all of these different projects go on and people are submitted multiple, I mean, this is just, thoughts by me, but that seems to be the hang up there is it's a staffing issue. They've been shorthanded.
Yeah, I asked Sissy those same questions there, and she said part of it was reimbursement issues, because of project completions. Because I said the same thing, Gary, what's the end run around getting this back to positive, and she explained that to me. All right, any more questions on the consent agenda?
Yeah, the engagement
Oh.
letter for SWK.
Okay, yep.
So just to clarify on that, did you have a question, Councilman?
No, go ahead.
I know last meeting, so we have submitted our objection to the petition.
We submitted a motion to dismiss.
Okay, and we haven't heard anything back from any dates been set
No.
or, no, okay. And this would be, I know in the engagement letter, it's referencing the lawsuit, so it is a lawsuit, or is it, because I know it was.
No, I mean, it's not, so
Okay.
I mean, I could
Okay.
change the verbiage of that,
But it should, I just didn't know if there's any updates, if it's promulgated up to something different
No,
than that.
it is,
but
it's litigation.
Okay.
I mean, is it a true lawsuit, like I'm suing you over,
Mhm.
hurting my toe? No.
Mhm.
It's not that, it's a
But it's
petition.
civil litigation.
Yeah, it's civil litigation.
Question? Motion approved consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Salvo. Further discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 7-0.
Aye.
Attorney's report?
So I do have on my report an ordinance for redistricting. I wanted you to see that ordinance. I wanted you to know what it looked like. You've already had your public meeting on it, and I'm just gonna tell y'all very bluntly, we're running out of time. So we weren't under a time crunch, but qualifying starts in what, January? Anybody remember?
Yeah.
We asked that.
January?
Can't-
So, I mean, we have to have ample time to have these words published, put out, let people know what they are, and, I mean, we're already rocking on June. So, I didn't know what else to do to push the process along.
Well, does anyone have any questions on it? I mean, we gotta have a workshop and have people come in and ask questions, or
I think
We've already done
Yeah,
that.
we
we
had
did that?
Yeah, we had a
We did
workshop.
public notifications.
I say we,
And the guy
I
from,
say we table this to the next meeting, keep it on the agenda, let, if anybody wants to see it online, they can go look at it online, and then vote on it next meeting.
I just put in can you put an announcement out that the new maps will be voted on this meeting, next meeting? So,
Is there a way we can hang them somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we can put them online, but as Ted Black was saying, and, you know, I just, I've been telling certain
Proposed map at
citizens.
City Hall,
Yeah, I think that's
Say
a
that
good
again?
idea.
put a
Put 'em on
proposed map
display.
in the lobby at City Hall
Yeah.
on the,
Put a proposed map there, and I would just tell people to go up City Hall and look at it, or go
Chris and them
online
print
and look
big
at it.
out, print big maps, or somebody can print big maps like that?
for a color map like that.
Jason has a big
Try
printer
to
like
shoot
that.
it out to a printer, but
Yeah.
it can be done.
Jason
might
can
be
do
a
it.
tax
small fee.
office
do that
could
together, you
probably-
can put it on there.
The tax office could probably do it for you.
I don't get
SNL
paid.
Printing could do it for you.
That's what I said, there was
Jason
somebody
could
big,
probably
some
do
big
it for
printers that
you.
can print them out so you can
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah, the largest we're gonna have that ledger,
Yeah, 11 by 17.
you know, but, I mean, we
I know
can- we
Jason's
can
got that
easily
big
send it
printer.
to-
Jason can do it.
I mean,
or-
I would tell y'all to encourage your constituents to look at it on a computer, and the reason why is even a map on a wall, even how
It's gonna
big
be
you get
blurry.
this, you can zoom in on. I mean,
Yeah.
basically you have a magnifying glass on your computer, so it is easier to because I know I have to go look at zoning
'Cause you
maps
can see
sometimes, and
streets
those are
and
very large, and it's still
specific.
sometimes really hard to figure out where you are on the
Can't even
zoning
read them with these.
maps. Not yet, but I'm starting to have to focus, so I'm guessing that's the next step.
Yeah, I'd like that idea, cause I was worried about us, doing it tonight, and then
Yeah.
the word started getting out. And, I know we published it, and then we've had workshops, but then once that works festival, I didn't know, and so
Yeah,
if we
they-
can put an
exactly.
advertisement that there's, a map
I agree with
to
you.
look at, and physical map.
Yeah.
Alright, so we get the maps hung up. Cool.
And I also encourage you with, to educate your constituents if they ask you questions on the reasons why we went over that, these have to change, and also that we didn't have to, we looked at every option that was legally available to us, and this is the absolute cleanest maps that we could come up with.
On the key there is too, as discussed, it's compliance.
Compliant, correct.
Alright, minutes. I don't have it on my agenda, but minutes for last meeting of May 7th. As not corrected, they were right. Except for the executive session portion, which was confusing. Motion to approve?
Motion
Motion, Mr. Noblock.
with changes.
Second, Mr. Salvo. Further discussion, vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passes 6-0, Buddy's out the room. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Reed, second, Mr. Salvo, all in favor.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Sorry for the long meeting, fellas.
What's that? Doing
Lois?
what?
20 minutes to 9, you want us to stay late?
That's this one.
Let's do it. Next.
And this is, one
Put it on
prior
I'll come in
meeting.
Friday, I'll come in Friday.
Hey, what is this?
I'll come in Friday, you'll be in office Friday?
Is this yours? Some tape?